Are you ready to give up today? Are you tired of pushing? Does it seem like the dream is not going to come true? Well, you've come to the right place, and I believe this video did not find you by accident. I want to help you know what to do today when the going gets tough and you want to give up. I've been there recently myself, and I'm very open on here. I want to share with you what God, source, the universe, revealed to me that helped me so much, and I hope it'll help you as well. I'm Jim, y'all, and I found peace, purpose, and prosperity in my own life, and I love helping other people do the same. If that sounds like something you would want some more of, I invite you to subscribe below, give this video a like, leave me a comment. I'd love to get to know you a little bit better. But what do we do when we really just want to give up? Recently, I've had some challenges and some struggles when it comes to what I'm doing with you right here. Quick little picture into my life. I was a pastor for 30 years. I left the religious world behind. And once I did that, I began to discover God at such a deeper level than I ever had before. For years, I went to church and did all the stuff. And I'm not saying there's anything bad or wrong with all that, but I really began to find God for myself personally when I broke out of my old mode and began to get into what I believe was my purpose and my passion deep down inside all along. And I think you can do the same. So I've been on this journey of coaching and helping folks just like you. Along the way, I got into sales and car sales. And I want to tell you a weird thing about manifestation and setting your intention and having a dream life that's out in front of you. It's this weird, wonderful thing that challenges us at times, but reminds us again and again that we can have anything we desire when we set our heart and our intention on it and we learn to let go and just let God bring it to us. So quick snapshot of what's going on lately in my life here. I work in the sales world right now, but my passion is what I'm doing with you right now, is coaching and helping you find your peace, your purpose, your prosperity in your own life. I've been moving towards that for a long time now in my life. And YouTube can be a discouraging little monster if we're being open with each other, right? It can be this thing that brings all this contact your way where you get to interact with great people just like you, but then it can be this thing that reminds you of how far you have left to go to accomplish the dreams that you have. And sometimes it'll get me discouraged, things like low views and not feeling like I'm making the impact I want to make. As I work in the sales world, once I got into doing what I do here with you guys, I kind of lost my drive for sales. Don't tell my manager. And you know what happened? I started selling more cars than I've ever sold. I started having more success than I've ever had in sales. And what it did is it taught me something. It taught me that the reason that happened is because I let go of any attachment to that. Attachment and letting go of that is the big deal in this work of manifesting your dream life. When I let go of that, the sales really started to go. And I got focused here on helping you guys to grow. And then this became the thing that I developed resistance to. And the other day I woke up and I'd had just about enough resistance. I woke up and I thought, maybe I should just quit doing this. Maybe I should just quit communicating on here and pursue something else. And I have a lot invested here, not just financially, but time-wise over the last year or so in my life. So many things going on in this world. And I just had one of those days where I started not feeling it. Do you ever feel like that? And just kind of wanting to give up? And something came to me in the middle of this. Number one, I opened up YouTube and I started scrolling through these videos. And twice in a row, I saw videos that essentially said, don't give up. These people gave up right before their dream was about to come true. Don't give up. And a lot of times we're tempted just to throw in the towel when the going gets tough. And then the second thing was, back from my church days, this verse just popped into my mind out of the book of James in the ancient scriptures in the Bible. And if you want to read it for yourself, it's a little section in James chapter 1, just the first 6 verses or so there. And it talks about how when we're going through difficult times in our life, what we should do. And it basically says we should ask God for wisdom, for insight, for understanding. And man, when you start to ask God for insight into who or what God is, to ask God for insight into why you're on this planet, insight into what it is that's the big life you could be living, get ready because you're going to get it. Because that verse, that passage, it goes on to say that God gives to all people liberally When we begin to ask, God begins to give. It's a passage I see in a whole different way now. I'm out of that whole church world. It helps me to see that God's a giving God, that the source of the universe, this energy that permeates me and you and everything that is, gives and gives and gives. If you don't believe it, just look at the universe. Did you know the universe is in constant expansion? It's constant growing. God's constantly giving. It's in God's nature to do that. And as God gives in that way, all we have to do on our end is two things. We have to ask, and then it goes on to say you have to believe. It said when you ask for that wisdom, when you ask for that insight into who you really are, what this is really all about, and how you can really have that thing that's put in you by God, no matter how big and outrageous and wild it is, when you really get plugged into that, it said don't ask wavering in your faith. Because a person that wavers in their faith is like a wave of the sea tossed to and fro. And what it's talking about there is when you begin to pursue that dream, like that thing that you want to give up on today, there's going to be adversity, there's going to be struggles, there's going to be problems. But if you stop believing, if you lose the faith to believe that it's going to happen for you and in you, you get like a wave of the sea. I was out at Lake Michigan yesterday. If you've ever been to Lake Michigan, it's like an ocean. It's a massive, massive lake, and it has days that people surf on it. The waves are so huge, and it was windy and wavy out there yesterday. My wife and I were watching the water, and when waves start coming in, one wave follows another. It gets this rhythm where the waves are just pushing the wave in front of them, and it just keeps rolling in. And that's what God says it's like when we begin to lose faith in our vision, in our dream, when we begin to lose faith in ourselves, when we begin to lose faith in source that God is going to make it happen. That sends out a wave of unbelief, of negativity, a wave of doubt in our life. And that just reinforces that wave in front of it. And a wave comes behind it that reinforces it. And it just keeps flowing and flowing, and it builds and it builds. And we get to where I was the other day, where we just want to give up. And maybe that's where you are today. Well, God, the way God does, sent those two videos into my life to say, don't give up. And I got up that day, and I didn't give up. The dogs next door barking at me, and I didn't give up. What I did do is I began to open myself to making some more content. And I went out and made what I thought was one of the best videos I've made in a long time that day. And it just began to flow out of me. And then I got up this morning and I was looking through some of my comments and sections where you do that on YouTube. And Nature is True left me this beautiful comment for which I am so grateful. And this is not bragging. This is just saying thank you to somebody who recognized this is what you're made to do, my friend. This is your talent. This is your ability. Thank you for sharing this with the world. Man, that comment encouraged me because I knew it was from Nature is True, but it was from something bigger than that. Source, God, I believe, put that in Nature is True's heart to share with me, and it helped me in a time that I needed it most. And that's the way God is with you. Whatever you're going through today, don't give up. Refuse to give in to those waves of doubt. In fact, do what they do out here at Lake Michigan. When the waves of doubt come, you have two choices. You can be swamped by them, tossed and turned, and ultimately spat out on the beach, or you can get up and you can surf. I challenge you today, start surfing those waves of doubt. Believe what God's put in you is there. Your desire, however wild it is. I share all the time on here. One of my favorite verses from back in my church days was God's able to do exceedingly abundantly beyond anything you can think or imagine. God can do stuff that you can't even dream up to make your dreams a reality. It can happen for you, but it can't if you give up. So today, keep surfing. Don't give up. Good things are on the way.